Get the latest lacrosse news and updates in the Lax World Lacrosse Report at PressBoxOnline.com, updated daily with Lax news, info, and blogs, only at PressBoxOnline.com. And welcome back to Inside PressBox. Joining me now is Greg Bader, Director of Communications for the Baltimore Orioles, and it's an exciting season. And by the time this airs, Greg, our March issue of PressBox will be out with a picture of Camden Yards, headline A Special Place, and it's kind of a memoir of a writer, Michael Amft, who at the beginning didn't like Camden Yards, and he's come to love the place.
Well, that's one of the first people I've heard from that didn't like it when they first set foot. I can remember being a young man with my father going into the ballpark the first time, and he was sure that he wouldn't love it because he loved Memorial Stadium. But boy, as soon as he stepped foot, we fell in love with the place.
How old were you when that opened? 20 years ago.
I was about 17.
Unbelievable. So, were you there opening day?
I was. Sat in the left field upper deck, and I think it was about $4 a ticket back then. I think it's still only about $8 or $9, so it's still a very good bargain up there.
Talk a little bit about some of the changes that are being made. It's been publicized that there are changes, but we don't have any renderings or anything, but can you give fans a glimpse, a mind's eye view of some of the changes?
Yeah, I mean, this is an important season for us. It's the 20th anniversary of Oriole Park at Camden Yards, which I think people in itself have a hard time believing that it's 20 years old and that 20 ballparks have been built since Camden Yards. We're now the 10th oldest ballpark. And when Camden Yards was built, there really was a different way of viewing a game than there is now. I mean, a lot of things have changed about the way people consume their information, the way people want to watch a game. It's a much more social setting. We find that people don't want to be pinned in their seat facing the field the entire game. A lot of fans want to be able to have get up and walk around and switch seats and visit with friends and have their seat turn and then turn back when they want to watch. So in keeping up with some of the trends of these newer ballparks, we have added several new features, including what we think is the most exciting, which is a deck on top of the batter's eye wall in center field, which will not only give a great view into home plate, but it'll also create an environment out in the outfield where there's a bar and outdoor seating and lounge chairs outside. It really creates a social environment for people at the game.
That's essentially over Boog Powell's shoulder, correct?
Essentially, right. Just to the left, if you're at home plate, it's just to the left of the scoreboard and just to the right of the bullpen picnic area. So you're up high and you have a great view right into home plate. Now,
Janet Marie Smith, who's been a large part of her vision, is involved in this, as well as the ownership, management of the team. But she was with the Red Sox at Fenway Park when they did the thing on top of the Green Monster. Is this similar to that?
I think it's certainly inspired by that. However, we think there's one important point that the fans of Baltimore would be pleased about, which is that that area does not require a special ticket to enter. So it's not a premium seating area. It's a premium destination, but as long as you have a ticket to the game, you're welcome into that area at any time. You can stay there for the entire game. You can come and go as you please, visit with friends. So it's really a social environment for everybody. It's not for a premium ticket buyer.
Is it going to be like Studio 54 where there'll be a rope?
I'm sure there probably is a capacity of a few hundred people, and there may be, for all we know, a line to get in. But hopefully we won't have that too much.
Talk about another big change out in right field.
Yeah, we've lowered the wall.
Above the scoreboard.
That's right. We've lowered the wall in right field, much to the delight of some of our left-handed hitters. So we've lowered that about 4 feet. And have placed a railing that can be easily seen through, because we found that unless you were about 6'7", you had a lot of trouble if you were standing at that wall really seeing the field, and especially with kids, it was impossible for them to stand there and watch. It's a popular place to watch. Home runs come out there, and for a lot of folks, they like to stand. So we've lowered that wall, which also not only allows the people standing there to see better, but if you're walking along Utah Street, it really brings the ballpark environment to Utah Street, because sometimes while it's a great environment out there, you're a little away from the game. We've lowered the wall to allow, while you're walking on Utah Street, to be able to actually see home plate in the field.
Before we let you go, one of the more controversial things was when Brooks Robinson's statue was unveiled, the relationship between Brooks and the club, and the fact that the Orioles weren't fully represented there in the way that fans and some media members thought they should be. But that's all going to change now with the unveiling of these 6 larger-than-life statues.
Yes, you know, there was a little bit of misunderstanding, and about a year and a half ago, we were prepared to move forward with our announcement of this Legend series of statues. And out of deference to Brooks and his relationship with the individuals who were taking care of the statue on his behalf, we held off our announcement until after that. And this was something that Brooks was well aware of, and we, you know, certainly understood and wanted to basically allow him to have that moment with the individuals who were responsible for that. We assisted in many ways, and then we had our plans to unveil 6 statues, beginning with Frank Robinson on April 28th. Brooks's Day is going to be on May 12th, and then the other 4 greatest Orioles of all time will have theirs in consecutive months this season.
And I hear that an ex-Baltimore sports legend may be kind of prominent this year. I'm hearing rumblings in the food business.
Yes, you know, there are certainly maybe more than one. So, you know, at the point we're at now, we're not prepared to unveil that. But as we get a little bit closer to opening day, fans will find out that, you know, there's a lot of Baltimore flair in a lot of the changes we're making.
Right, Greg, best of luck this season.
Thanks so much, Stan.
Hope springs eternal.
Absolutely.
It always does.
Always
when
in
it comes
March.
to baseball. All right. Inside Press Box is going to continue in just a moment. Don't go away. Inside Press Box is presented by Friedmont Mortgage. Don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. Go to Friedmont.com now for all of your mortgage needs.